Darwin platform group of companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Market Today on Business Today Television. I am Shail Bhatnagar, and today I am joining you from the lovely city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. It's been a wonderful February so far. We've now entered the penultimate, the last week of what has been a fabulous monthly expiry for futures and options. The Nifty is up 3.5% so far, and the Bank Nifty has also added 3.4% in the last expiry. Let's look at the major headlines so far. Indian stocks are likely to consolidate in a sideways band on Monday as bulls search for stronger cues to propel the Nifty above 22,300 levels. Traders are advised caution as sectoral rotation of money results in newer leaders emerging in the cash segment, even as older favorites retire for a while. A very warm welcome to thousands of people who've now joined us on this fabulous Monday morning. Remember, this is the last week of what has been a fabulous F&O expiry for the month of February. And let's see how we start Monday on a fairly stronger note. We've seen the Nifty and the Bank Nifty consolidate very rapidly. And let's start with the usual Nifty picture in front of you. The index closed at 22,212 on Friday, and the cues that are coming in from Wall Street as well as GIFT Nifty point to a flat start. That's more or less expected. The Nifty has run up fairly sharply all of February, and at this point of time, there are large parts of the index that are trading at record high. Stocks such as Cipla, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, State Bank of India, Reliance Industries, the entire auto pack. So at this moment, the Nifty appears to be sluggish because it's looking for stronger and stronger cues to move up, and it is encountering selling pressure the moment it hits somewhere in the vicinity of 22,250, 22,300. While that seems to be the most immediate resistance, there is very strong support for this index at 22,000 levels, at 21,900, and especially at 21,800. Where there is very strong put writing. So the index at the moment is likely to consolidate around these levels until stronger cues emerge and take this barometer higher. We are already joined by Mr. Gaurav Dua. He's the head of capital market strategy at Sharekhan. Good morning to you, Mr. Dua, and a very warm welcome on Market Today. It is such a pleasure to host you, sir. How do you see the sentiment on the large street for this last week of February? The Nifty is already up 3.5% so far, and the Bank Nifty is also galloping 3.4% higher. What are your views, sir?
So, it's been a great run for the equity markets. What we have seen in past one and a half months is that the Q3 results were quite decent. The RBI has maintained status quo. The negative news flow in terms of the postponement of interest rate cuts in US has been absorbed well by the market. Market have stayed in a very narrow range of around 1,000 points, and have tried to absorb the gains which was seen in the second half of last year. And that's, I think, is this an excellent sign. And during this phase, consolidation phase, what we have seen is also that some of the very overheated spaces in the small cap, micro cap space, there a lot of this speculative froth has been wiped off. So I think overall, I think we as an investor should be this thing pretty happy with the way markets have panned out in past about a month and a half. And I think from here, we are possibly trying to break out of this range that we have seen in past about this 5 to 6 weeks. And I'll not be surprised that by the March end or before the elections, we are at a 5 to 8% higher this level from here also.
Okay. Gaurav, let's just analyze this piecemeal. If you look at February's expiry, of course, the Bank Nifty is up about 3.4% so far. But it's the four public sector stocks in the banking space that have created a lot of wealth. I'm talking about Canara Bank, State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, as well as PNB. What's really interesting is that these stocks have given returns between 17 to 24% in the past month so far. What do you think of the rally from now on as far as these four counters are concerned?
So we have been of the opinion, right, from about this 2 months back when we had announced our strategy note for 2024, that pharma, public sector banks, two-wheeler auto stocks, and to some extent also the IT stocks. These are the four spaces which are likely to outperform in this year. And I think we can like still see that. Okay, after such a sharp appreciation, these stocks could possibly slip into some kind of a sideways consolidation zone. But I think for the year, public sector banks are this likely to outperform from here also.
Okay. As you mentioned, pharma in your note, we already have record highs on three major Nifty pharma stocks, which is Cipla, Sun Pharma, and Dr. Reddy's. The trend has been extremely bullish on the pharma index as well. What would be your top pick in the sector?
So in pharma, you have to look at the big picture, and this thing that is that after a huge rally in pharma from 2008 to 2015, the entire space, generic, especially formulation companies, saw a very bad phase from 2015 to 2022, where the this best of the stocks in the space, right from Sun, Lupin, they all went down by 50-60%. So pharma as a space is coming out of a bad phase of 7 years. So it's just broken out of the old high. And I think pharma from here also, we believe pharma index itself can go up by 20 to 25% in this year itself. And if that happens, I think most of these pharma stocks will do well. What we like in the large cap space is this obviously obviously it's a Sun Pharma followed by Lupin, but we are also aggressively looking at the mid cap space, small cap space there, and we believe stocks like Zydus, Torrent, Newland, and even turnaround stories like Strides Lab, I think can do this extremely well in this year.
Okay. And of course, as you rightly say, we've seen major gains coming into at least the indexed pharma stocks. Let me just give you an idea. Over the last 1 year, Sun Pharma appreciated by about 60%. We've seen a 51% uptick in Cipla over the last 12 months to about 1462. and Dr. Reddy's is up by about 42% in the last 1 year to about 64.28. Apollo Hospitals has added a 50% uptick to about 6,764. Cipla, Sun Pharma, Apollo, and Dr. Reddy's within the Nifty are already at record high levels. Divi's Lab is up 24% at about 36.44 over the last 12 years. Gaurav, let's also acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of sectoral rotation happening uh, with profit booking happening in defense space, RVNL, the railway space also seeing uh, uh, a decent profit taking. Are these counters ending their story, or this is a time where they pause for a while and then perhaps resume their upward journey once again?
So I was on your show, a couple of weeks back, and we were talking about these stocks, and I was absolutely clear that the appreciation run up in these stocks are this thing ahead of fundamentals, and it is time that you start being little cautious in this space. And I believe, yes, these stocks can underperform for some time. However, railway defense is a structural story. They are not the story for 1 month, 2 months. They are story for 2, 4, 5 years. So you need to wait for the right opportunity to enter these stocks, and these stocks from here also are going to make you very, very good gains. But from here you need to keep a slightly longer view, and in the short term, you need to be little cautious about these spaces where the appreciation has been very, very sharp, very, very fast.
Okay, that's an absolutely critical dose of advice coming from a market veteran. Gaurav, what we'll do is we'll take a very, very quick break. And on that other side, we'll be looking at the pre open trades on this fine Monday morning at Dalal Street. Remain glued.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Welcome back on Market Today. We are in conversation with Mr. Gaurav Dua. He's the head of capital market strategy at Sharekhan. And in a very short while, we'll be joined by Akshay Bhagwat. He's the senior vice president for derivatives research at JM Financial. We are waiting for the first tick to come on the pre-open rates as far as cues from GIFT Nifty and Wall Street are concerned. They are more or less flat for Monday. Gaurav, your view on private sector banks, especially HDFC Bank?
Yeah, I mean, private sector banks have been underperformer, and HDFC Bank is one stock which I think most of the investors are holding. And the point is, the whole merger between HDFC Limited and HDFC Bank was always going to create some kind of a short term issues in the stock, which was already at a very, very steep kind of price to book multiples. However, what I think is that most of the negatives are already there in the price. In my lifetime of around 20, 25 years in the stock market, I have not seen HDFC Bank trade or it was available at 1.8 times price to book. I think it's an excellent price. That's an opportunity. Yes, I can't time when the uptrend will start. But if you are a patient investor, this is the distinct time to buy stocks like HDFC Bank.
Okay, and with that fantastic advice on India's largest banking franchise, let's look at how opened as far as the initial trades are concerned on Dalal Street. Well, it's a very nice green tick on the Nifty. The index at 22,291, ticking about 80 points higher. What are the stocks that are contributing to this fantastic uptick? It's LNT, 1.2% higher at 3430. TCS is settling a percent higher in pre-open trades, 4,086. Let's look at the three index heavyweights, and we'll take a look at Reliance. It's almost 0.5% higher at a round number of 3,000. That's very, very interesting. Let's look at Infosys at 1679. It's trading about 2 rupees 15 paise higher, and there is about an 8 rupees 60 paisa downtick on HDFC Bank at about 1412. What else is in the green? Tata Motors about a percent higher, 945. Kotak is moving about 0.9% higher, 1739. Lever is 16 rupees higher at 2407. We'll take a very, very quick detour as to see what's happening in the F&O space in the pre-market trade. The Nifty is completely flattened out, 22,220. Let's look at the top gainers so far. As far as F&O stocks are concerned, you see a fairly strong move coming in. Indus Star, 2.3% higher to 4680. Amongst the private sector banks, Bandhan Bank is up 2% at 212. Nothing much happening there. Let's look at the NSE 500 space and let's see what is gaining momentum. The markets are very skittish in early trades. Not many prices are getting updated. For the moment, I see a 5% uptick on Paytm, 428.10. You have Balaji Amines trading 2% higher, 2283. You have GSFC up 1.5%, 234.65. We'll wait for these prices to settle. The Nifty is extremely volatile, now down 34 at 22,180. Let's look at the biggest pain point on the index. It's ICICI Bank, a percent lower, 1,050. TCS, a percent lower, 4,012. Axis Bank, 0.75% lower, 1,088. Infosys in the red, Reliance flattening out. So this is how the markets are. We'll wait for them to settle, and then we can check a look at what's looking good. Gaurav, coming back to you, anything for today that catches your interest on the long side?
So basically, this is Suven Pharma is a stock I think which has come up with some good news, and that's a stock we think can do well in this in short term as well as long term. Also, I think some of these this power stocks can do better today, including NTPC and and this is Coal India.
Okay, fair point. Suven Pharma, just take a look at this counter. The price chart is there in front of you, about 9.5 rupees higher at about 664. Let's look at the all-time high for this counter. This is fairly recent, 763. And we've seen this stock move from nearly its 200-day DMA at 584 on 6th of February to what it is now. It's been down for the last 4 trading sessions. Let's see how it shapes up in today's trade. The other counter that was mentioned by Mr. Dua is NTPC, of course, India's top thermal power producer. About 25% of thermal power comes from this wonderful company, 337.75. Obviously near a record high. Gauravji, where do you think NTPC is headed?
So I think the kind of this growth that you're going to see here is going to higher. It's going to be much more higher than what we have seen in past 5 to 8 years, and I think a lot of this re-rating is already done. From here, what we see is a steady kind of its 18 to say 20% in the stock for next couple of years. uh, given the fact that there's a lot of focus on this space now, and if this economy has to grow, it has to be this is supported by enough this supply of power, and NTPC is going to play this important role there.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 9/7, and the pre-open rates have settled. We also have Akshay Bhagwat, Senior Vice President for Derivatives Research at JM Financial, joining us. A very good morning to you, Akshay, and a very warm welcome. What are the two stocks that you're looking at as far as today's trade is concerned? The Nifty now settling about 48.50 points lower at 22,163 on this Monday morning. Akshay.
Good morning, Shailji. So the top two bets for today, if you are chasing the momentum, taking up a day trade, I believe Indus Tower is where there can be good bout of momentum. We have seen a positive breakout on the prior trading session. This breakout was at 235. The stock is very strongly placed on the medium-term charts as well. So I would recommend to buy Indus Tower. You might see a positional target all the way till 280 on the upside. As far as short-term trading goes, 267, 265 roughly can be your target area. The support is 235. So keep a stop loss of 232 on this trade. And second trade can be Coal India here, which is not for day trading, but I think there can be some buying because it is trading at a crucial support of around 430 from where it has recovered well. So a short-term trading bet, not a day trade, but Coal India can be accumulated around 440, 443 for a target till 475 with a stop loss of 420.
Okay, let's look at Industar. Both Industar and Idea Cell were the top gainers on Friday's trade. Remember, Industar at the moment is trading 7% higher last Friday, and this level was last seen in February of 2022. So we are at a 2-year high on Industars, and Friday's rally came on the back of a fairly decent bout of short covering, I think to the extent of about 14%, that open interest actually came down, which essentially means that a lot of bears are vacating their positions. Coal India joins NTPC. Remember, NTPC was suggested by Gaurav, and we have a fairly strong move expected on Coal India. As Akshay mentions, that the counter has slipped a while, and it's now at a very crucial support level. It's down for the last entire week. The all-time high was 486. It settled at about 443. Akshay, any view that you might have on pharma stocks? They were on fire on Friday. Mr. Dua with us is also fairly bullish on them. Within the Nifty, any pharma stock that you would prefer on the long side, or is the rally overstretched?
Well, if you look at the pharma counters, most of these stocks which have an exposure to the futures and options segment have seen long addition. The pharma index is almost at its lifetime high. It's just a bit overbought for comfort, but still I believe the momentum is strong, and this momentum can pull in through the expiry week and move into the new series, that's the March series. A couple of stocks here which comes to my name from the pharma pack. One is Cipla, which is trading around 1473. And Sun Pharma, which is trading around 1562. So both these stocks are very strongly placed on the charts. So if you are keen on the pharma space with a short-term perspective, then these are the couple of stocks which have strong buying interest, very strongly placed on charts, and have set up for a good strong up move as we head into the March series.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll just take a little detour into prices. We have the pre-open that is settled. Let's look at within the Nifty, apart from the index heavyweights, where do we see momentum? Bajaj Finserv, it's the top gainer, 1.5% higher, 1616. SBI Life makes a fresh high, 1.3% higher, 1529. On the losers side, as far as the Nifty is concerned, it's BPCL, HCL Tech, and Maruti that are down between 1.5%. Let's look at the PSU space. Remember, large parts of the PSU segment are showing a fairly decent price action on the downside, which basically means profit booking. See what is happening in the railway pack. IRCTC 0.2% higher, 966.95. You have Railtel 0.5% higher, 409.90. You have Rights 1% higher, and you have Ircon, RVNL, and IRFC all opening about 3.4, 3/4% higher in pre-open trade. Mr. Dua, coming back to you and to our original discussion on the railway pack, amongst the PSU segment within this sector, any one or two stocks that you would prefer as medium-term picks for long-term portfolios?
So we are more, inclined towards the wagon makers. So we have a buy call on, on this Jupiter wagon, as well as we like a stock called, this Titagarh Rail. So I think these are two stocks where the basically execution risk compared to other stocks is much lower. And they have strong order books, and I think there is also scope for improvement in margins there. So these are the two stocks that we are looking for.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes left to the opening quarter. Akshay, your favorite railway stock?
Well, from the railway pack here, RVNL can be one stock which can be kept on the buy watch list. After a slight correction in the month of February, 230 to 40 is the possible bottom area based on the chart readings. And after a slight bump up, this seems to be a good support in place. The momentum will catch up in the stock once 280 is taken off. So right now it is in an accumulation zone. You might get it at the supports again. So buy with a short-term view for maybe next week or so. Targets can again see the stock revisiting 300 plus on the upside.
Okay. And Akshay, very quickly, SBI, Canara Bank, or HDFC Bank? One stock that you like within these three?
State Bank of India, definitely. Strong momentum gain in the last few days. Every bottom dip has been bought into in this stock. So 750 is a good rate if you get at that level again. This is an outperformer, a leader from the PSU space. So I would bet on State Bank of India out of the three stocks you mentioned.
Okay, that's a wonderful name to talk about. Of course, a record high, as you see on the screen, at a vicinity of record high. And I'd just like to mention that within the Nifty and within the banking space, State Bank of India is the top performer over the last 1 year, up about 45% at about 755. Let's just now wait for the first ticks to come on the index. Remember, the Bank Nifty settled 195 points lower at 46,615. The Nifty settled 43 points lower on the pre-open trade at about 22,170. A very quick view on your favorite auto stock, Akshay. Blowout performances happening on all six of them within the Nifty. Tata Motors, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Tata Motors also is on the radar, but if you're looking for a short-term trade, probably TVS Motors and M&M. These are the couple of stocks you may consider to buy for ahead of the expiry of the February series. Strong rolls building up in these names, and these stocks are setting up for the next round of up move. So TVS Motors and Mahindra and Mahindra. These will be the couple of names. Obviously, Tata Motors, Maruti. These are also very well placed, but a slight dip in these counters would make them more attractive to buy them from a short-term trading perspective.
Okay. And this is the time to possibly now look at the the pre-open prices settling into the opening quarter. Let's just wait for them to start. We have a fairly strong uptick coming into the Nifty over the last 4 odd weeks of this very long February expiry, and prices have started to move. The Nifty's opening 45 points lower, 22,170. The Nifty Bank has a cut of about 135 points, 46,676. Both the Nifty IT index and the Nifty 500 index have opened in the red. Now, let's give an overall picture of the market. Out of the 10 index heavyweights, 9 of them are in the red, and it's not looking good. Okay. What is HDFC Bank doing? A rupee lower, 14.19. What is Reliance doing? It's 4 rupees 30 paisa lower, 29.82. How about Infosys? Infosys at the moment is trading 9 rupees lower at about 16.68. In terms of the top loser within the index heavyweight space, you have again it's Infosys and TCS pulling the index lower. What's in the green? It's only Larsen and Toubro, which is about 0.9% higher, 34.19. The index has slipped further, now 70 points lower at 22,142. Okay, one very quick look at what's happening in the F&O space. For the moment, when you look at the top losers, you have Asian Paints down almost 4%, 28.69. Berger Paints slipping 1.75% lower, 561. BPCL in the red about 1% lower. How about top gainers? Okay. Indus Stars taking it away, 250, 1.20, 4% higher. Idea Cellular, the moment the company has announced a fundraise, 18 rupees, 2.56% higher. Z Entertainment, 1.2% higher. A very quick look at NSC 500. We have a 5% uptick on Paytm. We'll avoid that, 426.60. PNB Housing is moving 4.6% higher, 734. Gaurav's pick Suven Pharma, 2.6% higher, 683. You have Zomato moving 2.4% higher, 168. We have Rights from the railway space moving 2.8% higher, 780. We'll take a quick look within the PSU pack. Let's see where momentum is coming in on the green side. Okay, PNB Housing we've discussed. We have NCC 3% higher, 262.80. HUDCO 203.20, 1.9% higher. Punjab and Sindh Bank 1.3% higher, 66.55. National Aluminium a percent higher at about 160.75. How about the high beta space? How is it doing? Ganesh Housing 8% higher, 822.25. Kernex Systems 5% higher, 685. We have Geofin 3% higher at 344.55. Akshay, coming to you, it's a flat opening. The market has moved into the last week of this fabulous F&O expiry. What looks good to you in this market open?
Well, from the pharma space, Lupin has seen a positive opening. Well, the open interest is not that great, but I believe this is a stock which is slowly building up a strong support base at 1600, and possibly considering the fact that it trades in a strong uptrend and pharma space has been in momentum lately. So you can have Lupin on your watch list for day trading. It's at 1621, easily 1650, 1660 can be your day trading targets. Keep a stop loss below 1600 on the buy trade.
Okay. Lupin is something that's finding mention with Akshay. Gaurav, if your laptop's up and running, anything interesting that catches your fancy today? Acha, okay. We'll wait for Gaurav to log in back again. Let's look at the F&O space. Okay. Paints are in pain, and that's mainly because Grasim has announced a very, very advanced and aggressive picture as far as its expectations from its paints foray is concerned. Therefore, Asian Paints and Berger Paints are two top losers on the F&O space, 4% lower on Asian Paints, accompanied by an uptick in open interest. A quick view coming in from you, Akshay, on Asian Paints. The charts seem to be getting weaker and weaker for this sectoral leader.
Yes, as you see the opening, Asian Paints has broken the key support zone of 2900. So that's a negative development both for day trading as well as for the short term. This stock has been subdued in the last couple of months. A lot of short bets are prevalent, and this breakdown just aggravates the selling pressure in Asian Paints. So positionally, 2750 is where heading for. So if you are holding the stock from a trading perspective, would recommend to exit, not to buy on dips. Still, at least a minimum support has of 2900 has to be recovered for any buy traction. So as of now, it's an exit or a short candidate from short term or day trading perspective.
Okay. We are almost at about 9:20, 9:22. Let's take a detour into the broader market. Let's see how sentiment is working for us. On the National Stock Exchange for the moment on this wonderful Monday morning, the broader trend seems to be favoring the bulls. 1192 stocks in the green, 842 in the red. But as far as indices are concerned, there seems to be selling pressure building in. We tracked 19 indices for you. Less than 3 plus 4, 7. Less than 7 indices are in the green and about 12 in the red. The IT index is the top loser, down about 3/4%. The PSU banking index is down a third. Then banking index is down 0.2%. And if you look at the NSE 500, which is the broadest measure that we have for the market, 20,300, absolutely flat. The advanced decline ratio on the NSE 500 is 263 is to 238. We'll take a very quick look at stocks that have hit record highs. And just a moment, let me give that data for you. Okay, all-time highs are Shriram Finance, 3% higher, 2520. FDC 483. This is a pharma stock, 2.4% higher. Granules, okay, another pharma stock, 477.30. Thermax, JSW Energy, Astral Communications, and of course, Dixon Technologies are some of the stocks that are moving fairly rapidly. Akshay, I think a view is required on FDC. This is surging very rapidly, 486.60 at up about a percent so far.
Lifetime highs, a very strong chart structure, and a strong momentum gain in the opening trades. All the criteria are very favorable and an ideal buy setup, which continues to regain momentum. So I would say that 525 odd levels can be your trading target. A bit overbought for comfort, but still the momentum is very strong. So you can consider buying it even at the current rates. If you are holding it, both situations, 525 is your target. 470 is the support. The stop loss should be around 467 on this buy trade.
Okay. Let's look at the volumes on FDC. Even on Friday, they were substantial. But in the early first 10 odd minutes of trade, already about 1,13,000 shares have been traded. And the 5-day average is 3,54,000 shares. So in the first 10 odd minutes, you've seen a fairly strong move coming in as far as FDC is concerned. Okay, now let's focus on how stocks are moving in the broader F&O space. I see we've discussed Indus Stars. Let's look at the top gainers in every sector. Okay, what all we've discussed? Indus, we've discussed IRCTC. This is moving a percent higher. Akshay, quick view on IRCTC?
Yeah. IRCTC, the railway stock, has seen a good recovery lately. As I understand, the opening trades are good, and possibly 990 is where the stock is heading for. So the broader chart structure is still strong. It is just that on the short term front, the momentum has been lost after the rail budget in February beginning. It's trying to regain its lost glory. 920 is the support area where it has formed a base and is now setting up again for a breakout above 1000. So as it currently stands, 990, 995 is the upside target you can aim for. We will review it again and see whether that breakout above 1000 matures or not. But overall, it still continues to be on the buy side of trade.
Okay. We are now at about 9:27, and the first 10 odd minutes of trade have happened. Let's take a look at what the index is doing. Okay, we are at 22,187 on the Nifty. Absolutely flat trade. Remember, this is the last week of perhaps one of the longest expiries I have seen in the shortest month of the calendar. We end on February 29th, and we had begun on 25th of January. So it's a very, very long expiry, and a lot of stocks have done remarkably well. Let's look at the top gainers within the F&O space and then discuss what's likely to happen in March. Akshay, this is a very, very wonderful picture in front of me. Uh, Phenomenal gains. I mean, in the vicinity of 24%, 18%. Canara Bank is up 23.5%. Bosch up 24%. Trent up 20%. Container Corporation up 20%. Coal India 14% higher. Power Grid, BPCL, OFSS all up anywhere between 16 to 19%. BPCL up 28% so far. Uh, this also points to the fact that probably March would be a place where these stocks will digest their gains. But of course, newer and better stocks will come in to pick up the baton. What are you looking for in March, Akshay, as far as individual stock futures are concerned?
Individual stock futures, my belief is still power sector might hog the limelight. The momentum has been very strong, and now it looks a bit overbought for comfort, but still, the way the charts are setting up, most of the names of the power companies are having the glory of their lifetime, you can say. Most of them are still in the buy momentum, and still going long at these overbought levels makes sense for me, because the momentum can see a significant growth as we move into the March series. So names like Power Grid, NTPC, Tata Power, these are all favorites for me. Power sector will continue to move, and even at the current levels, I would still be comfortable taking a buy trade in most of the names I mentioned.
Okay. Gaurav is back with us. Gaurav, all of us have these software issues and laptops rebooting at the most crucial time. Welcome back. How do you see the market open? Anything that catches your fancy? Absolutely flat trade on Nifty and Bank Nifty on this Monday morning.
So I think that was expected also by the cues that we had at the start of the market, and I'm not just surprised. And I had said at the starting of the market that I think this power stocks will do well in the short term also, and also for today. And I think it's just in playing out as I had expected.
Okay. So this is what is Gaurav's early morning commentary. Gaurav, because you analyze the market on a fundamental basis as well, what would your view be on Asian Paints and Berger Paints? A very deep-pocketed, long-term player has entered the paints business with a very aggressive three-year target of 10,000 crore rupees in terms of sales. Your view on the sectoral leaders, Asian and Berger?
So I think this industry is going to go through a lot of pain. New distinct players are entering. Yes, Grasim, as well as you also have plans from JSW Group. And if you would have heard the speech from the Grasim management, they are looking at this disrupting the industry. If we can understand from that, they are going to go very aggressively for the market share, and that would mean some kind of adjustment to the operating margins of existing players. So in this case, you can't expect these stocks to do well. I think these stocks will this continue to underperform.
Okay. Let me just mark some prices which are clicking very rapidly in front of us. We'll take a look at Polycab. The reason why I mentioned Polycab is because one, it's been a market favorite for a while, and it had gone through a series of very tumultuous issues over the last 3 odd months. Polycab is now at 48.59, trading about 1.5% higher. It's reclaimed a part of its lost glory, and the gap down that we had seen on November 11th is now filled up with a price rise. Akshay, what is Polycab's charts telling you?
Well, Polycab, after the sell-off which we had a few trading sessions back, it was a massive sell-off, but the recovery, if you see from the bottom of around 4,000, has been really very healthy. Almost a 50% recovery seen from the fall which we noted from the 5,600 odd area. That's a very good sign for the stock. Right now, it is slightly losing momentum. Maybe it's in the last leg of momentum. If you're a short-term trader, 5,000 looks the best case scenario for me. It's more of a trading stock where it stands currently. If you are holding the stock, yes, you need to hold it. But as I understand, as it nears 5,000, it might be vulnerable to some profit booking. Uh, Basically, it should be in a range. Your lower end of the base can be as 4,650 and on the upside 5,000. So right now, as I understand, it may spend some time in this range before it charts out its next leg of direction.
Okay. Gauravji, would you have a view on Polycab?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with the view here. See, the stock had a very sharp fall. Okay, it went down by 35%, and after a fall like that in a large cap stock like this Polycab, you will always have a bounce. But I think we have to wait and watch whether it's a bounce or it's uh, uh, this thing there's a change in the fortunes. I think the this best case here would be that the stock is going to spend some more time in this range.
Okay. Fair point. uh, the issue at the moment in the market is that stocks which are 4 digit 5 digits are moving very rapidly, and they are held by large institutional players, so retailers are unable to get into them, Polycab of course being one of them at about 4,800. I think the all time high on Polycab was 5,300. Let's look at some trades. uh, Akshay's pick, Indus Stars doing phenomenally well. Now 249, like I mentioned, it's at a 2 year high. Fairly strong buildup of long positions being seen. And we also have a decent move coming in as far as long prices are concerned on Glenmark, 2.5% higher. Decent buildup of price, but open interest isn't much. Let's look at the open interest moves along with positive price changes. Well, it's the beginning of the market today and it's the last week. So people will be more interested in rollovers. Nevertheless, the Ultratech Cement is showing a positive price action coupled with a rise in open interest. The counter now above the 10,000 rupee mark at 10,037. Futures are trading 22 rupees and nothing much happening. Let's look at volume buzzers. That will show you where the market is interested in terms of volume. Okay, PNB Housing Finance. Now, this is an interesting counter. 4% higher, 731. About 4,69,000 shares have been traded, which is equal to the 5 day average. And remember, it's just 935. So, in the first 25 minutes of trade, all of the 5 day average volume has been traded. Akshay, what's clicking on PNB Housing?
PNB Housing Finance, as I see the charts, it's been a bit subdued lately, but today's opening trade has been a very positive uptick. It's bounced from its moving average support, which is around 700. So that's a very strong development from a short-term trading basis. Broader chart structure is still negative, so it's more of a bump up or a short-term bounce back, as I understand. The best case scenario works out till around 770. That's the upside you can target for. So still it's a buy, but on the trading parameters, from a medium term perspective, I would still give it a miss here. Let it clearly suggest that a bottom of 700 is in place before you have a positional trade in PNB.
Okay, I'll request the PCR to file a longer term chart of PNB Housing, and this is right up Gaurav's alley, because the stock has corrected from say 906. The price of 906 was there on 25th of Jan, and it went all the way down closer to its 200 DMA at about 696. Anything positive that comes to your mind as far as PNB Housing is concerned, Gauravji?
So if you see the this thing, public sector housing players, Canfin Homes, PNB Housing, and also LIC Housing, all of them have seen this is some kind of a tip last few weeks, and I think some of them have like started to look good. Within this space, we would just prefer to go for for this Canfin Homes compared to the other three stocks.
Okay, Canfin is what catches Gaurav's attention. What we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, it's already 9:35, 9:38. We'll take a very, very quick short commercial break. And on the other side of this very small interlude, Akshay will tell us about Canfin Homes. Stay tuned.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Welcome back to Market Today. We are at about 9:38, 9:39, and the markets are flat as they can be. The Nifty down 38, 22,174. The Nifty Bank now in positive territory, 30 points higher. The IT index is taking it on the chin, down about 330 points, 37, 720. And we have absolute flat trade in the broader markets. The Nifty 500 at 20,308, which is absolutely flat as a pancake. Let's look at Canfin Homes. This is something that Gaurav has suggested that we look for instead of PNB Housing. Akshay, what do you think of the chart? At about 800, the stock has been in a consolidative mode over the last maybe 7 odd months, 8 odd months. Doing nothing. The lower trading range is 740. The upper trading range is 840. What are the charts telling you?
Triangle in the formation on the medium to longer term charts, which just suggests that possibly it's in an accumulation stage. The range is 740 on the lower end and 860 on the upper end. So it might take some more time where it spends in this range. So maybe some couple of more weeks to go before you have a direction setting in. This is a play more from a long-term perspective, as I understand. So buy it, but have a slightly longer term, probably 2-3 months minimum time you need to give for this breakout to mature. So the breakout, if it matures, the breakout point is 860. Whenever it breaks this, you will have the surge of momentum in the stock, which can go all the way till around 975 on the upside. So a long-term play, it's in the buying zone.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll take a quick detour back into the market. Let's look at stocks that have hit circuit. Ganesh Housing, fresh record high, 10% higher, 837. About 2,11,000 shares have been traded. We have Kernex Microsystems. There seems to be some kind of a corporate news likely to come in, but we really don't know. There are just rumors in the market about Alstom wanting to pick up a stake. Kernex up 5% at 685.65. We have another stock called Valchandnagar Industries, 255.35, 5% higher. Let's look at all-time highs. Shriram Finance is something that catches my attention, 3% higher, 25.20. Your view, Akshay, on this F&O stock? Today's cash volumes are 3,49,000 shares. The counter up 3.3%.
Shriram Finance at its lifetime highs, day trading seen a very strong breakout. This breakout is at 2,500. Very strong development on the charts, even in the futures and options space. There is a lot of call unwinding at the 2,500 strike. That's providing the momentum on the upside. Positive chart structure, your target can be as high as 2610 on the upside. So a buy for me, even at the current rates. Keep a stop of 2,475 on this trade.
Okay. Gauravji, would you have a view on Shriram Finance? It's a very quiet achiever. We generally don't talk about it, but it's doing wonderfully well from that 1800 point that we had caught it via Ashish Chaturmota for long term viewers who've been with us. Fairly stunning move. Fundamentally, anything that you catch interesting in Shriram Finance?
So I'll not be able to speak much on this stock. I don't have this much of understanding here. Yeah.
Okay, no issues. Let's look at the other moves that are coming in. Let's focus on the losers for a change, which is the top loser in the banking space as far as F&O is concerned. Bandhan Bank, 1.4% lower at 206. This is accompanied by a mild uptick in open interest, which is 0.3%. Within the auto space, Maruti is down about a percent, although there's nothing much to be worried about. But let's look at how prices are moving on this Monday morning. Pharma is in fine shape. Alchem Labs, 1.3% lower, 53.43. And this is how the futures are moving in Alchem Labs. Uh, how about the chemical space? Okay, Coromandel International, about 1% lower, 1072 in futures. And there is NTPC absolutely flat. Steel Authority 1% lower in the metal space, 127.25. Nothing much in terms of opening interest. It's a very quiet Monday as far as trades are concerned. Akshay, anything that's clicking on your screen which I may have missed?
Well, from the power space, you can consider Power Grid. Normally, this stock is very quiet in terms of trading, but the kind of momentum it's picked up lately, and it's on the charts, it is on the verge of a breakout. So you can consider Power Grid a breakout. Is the point is 290. Above that, you can see another surge of momentum. So that's another stock which you can have on your buy list from the power space. A very strong setup on Power Grid.
Okay, that's Power Grid at about 287. I think 287 would also be a record high. This is, like I said, one of those stocks that moves very, very quietly. And yes, it's not exactly a record high, which is somewhere like 289.45, but very much there. Gauravji, would you have a view on Power Grid?
Yeah, we also like the stock. I think Power Grid, the kind of this in commentary that we had after these quarterly results was extremely encouraging. They have a very aggressive expansion plan, capex plan, and that will start showing in the numbers as we go forward. And as I said, as a space also, I am very positive on on this power space, the entire value chain.
Okay. Let's just drill a little bit lower. Although the counter is at a record high, the PE ratio on Power Grid is about 16.25 and a market capitalization of about 2,62,000 shares. Revenue for the trailing 12 months being 46,128 crores and a fantastic earnings of about 15,727. That's the PAT, profit after tax, on a trailing 12-month basis. Of course, this is a company which is primarily owned by the government of India, and 51.34% ownership rests with the President of India. Okay, let's look at the broader spaces in the market. We have had the first half an hour of trade. Let's spend some time with the PSUs and see how are they doing. Remember, they are the highest beta counters as of now. I think defense is on an offense. We look at Bharat Dynamics, 3.7% higher at 1854. We've seen an uptick on Bharat Earth Movers Limited, 3076, 1.4% higher. Hindustan Aeronautics, 0.7% higher as far as prices are concerned at 3,068. Akshay, another stock I hesitate to ask, but we need to. That's Policy Bazaar, PB FinTech, 1,074. Okay, this seems to be a very, very nice move to be looked at. This is the highest since March of 2022. So 2-year high. Volumes aren't there, Akshay, but PB FinTech.
PB FinTech at its day high now. Overall, the chart structure has been very strong since the past 5 to 6 months, and I believe the momentum can see it going all the way till its record high levels till 1350. A positive chart setup, and I still believe you can consider buying it even at the current rates. As I said, keep it slightly longer term play, medium term to long term with a 3 month plus perspective. Target around 1350 with a stop loss of 950.
Okay, so this is what it is. Gaurav, would you have coverage on PB FinTech?
So, we have had a look at it. In fact, if you see the entire space, or this new age stocks, all of them have done well in past about a year or so, bounced back from their lows. But I think from here you need to focus on only those stocks where there is some sense of this profits coming in. Zomato and the Policy Bazaar are only two stocks that we feel can move into the profitable zone and stay there, and you could see a good improvement in the entire metrics of business. Cash burn will not be there. Cash flows will start, and if that happens, if for a new age company, I think it will be a structural story for the investors to to buy and hold.
Okay, that's the view coming in on technically and fundamentally on PB FinTech. I think what deserves mention is Ambuja Cement. Akshay, very quickly, what are the charts telling you on this one? I think we have a breakout, 612. This is a record high and a very high beta counter. Akshay, your views on Ambuja?
Uh, as you mentioned, 600 breakout is on. This stock also has been supportive with the kind of momentum the Adani stocks had lately. And I believe Adani groups have yet to catch up with the all-time high, especially Adani Enterprises. And Ambuja here you almost is trading at a record high. So a very strong chart structure. It's just the beginning because the momentum is still very strong and you have more gains to go. 590 is the support even from a trading perspective. 625, 630 can be a target. With a medium term perspective, I see the stock going all the way up till 675 to 690.
Let's look at the build up as far as the open interest is concerned. Okay, ACC Ambuja. Okay, nothing much in terms of open interest addition, but nevertheless, the price is clicking very well. At the moment, the futures are trading at a discount to cash, but 612 and clicking fairly rapidly as far as the cash markets are concerned. Gauravji, any view that you hold on Ambuja Cement or any other cement counter that catches your fancy?
So, we have been extremely bullish on Ultratech. I think Ultratech has done well. And we, in the large cap space, we believe that it'll this thing outperform from here also. We also have a buy call on some of the mid cap stocks in this space, including this Remco Cement, and this JK Lakshmi Cement. There are some other stocks which are doing well, but there is based largely on the news, because there's likely lot of this M&A that is expected to this thing take place in this space. Larger players are likely to look at this thing, saying organic initiatives to also grow, and I think that is going to keep this space very, very active.
Okay, so JK as well as Ultratech is something that fundamentally appears to be in good shape as far as Gaurav is concerned. ACC, Ambuja's twin, is the top gainer today within the F&O cement pack, 1.2% higher. And the open interest is also additionally moving to 1.8%. Actually, very strong moves coming in the open interest side, look at JK Cement. The counter may be flat. It's the OI is 7.6% higher. Dalmia Bharat, the OI has increased by 10.7%, 0.5% higher. Akshay, we are in the dying minutes of the show. When you look at rollovers, where do you think strength lies for the month of March?
Well, the rollovers still now, it's on the buying side. A bit too early to comment on rollovers, but the market is at its last leg of rally, as I understand. It is slightly seen some fatigue once it crosses the 22,000 mark. Although new highs have been registered, the price somewhere is showing signs of fading out. So you need to be very careful, have your stop losses in place at the juncture which in the market trades. My sense is March might remain a subdued month. Too early to say, but 22,500 looks the best case scenario for me. That's the cap on the upside, and there can be some round of profit booking as we enter into the March series.
Okay. With that, Akshay, thank you so much for sharing your valuable views. And of course, we'll remember you via Indus Towers, which at the moment is the top performing F&O stock today. Thank you so much for your time. Gauravji, final word on today's market.
So I think it'll be in a range. So I don't expect extremely large moves. And this I'm not talking about for the day. I am also talking about for the week or in the this thing near term. I think markets are close to this new high, and they will this thing spend some time around this place. I think that will be technically and this and this is sentimentally this is very good for the markets.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Gauravji, for these fine views on the market. We'll remember you for Suvin Pharma as well as the NTPC and Coal India as well. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Okay, we'll take a quick detour into how the broad markets are functioning. Monday started on a back foot. Nothing much to be worried about. We've seen a fantastic rally all through February as far as the Nifty and the Bank Nifty are concerned. Both of them are up at about, for the Nifty at least, at a record high. And the Bank Nifty has also improved 3.4% for the month of February so far. We are in the final last week of February's F&O expiry. And today, the markets have started on a mild back foot, mainly because of flat cues coming in from overseas markets, as also at record high levels, around 22,300. The Nifty is encountering selling pressure. Let's look at the top five gainers as far as the Nifty is concerned. And we'll also drill down to how F&O is doing. So for the moment, it's Power Grid, 286.4, 1.5% higher. Larsen and Toubro within the index heavy space, doing at 34.41, about 1.6% higher. There's no stopping Bajaj Auto, 84.94 for you, about 0.7% higher. M&M Adani Enterprises about 0.5% higher each. And you have a smattering of gains on Cipla, SBI, Tata Motors, HDFC Bank. On the losing side, and the advanced decline is negative for the Nifty, it's the pain that you see in Asian Paints, 4% lower, 28.68. This is the top loser. Profit booking continues on BPCL, 1.5% lower, 609. Tech Mahindra has slipped about 1.5% lower, 1302. A very quick detour on F&O in terms of top losers. It's Alchem Laboratories, 5269, about 3% lower. Emphasis Bandhan Bank and Indian Hotels showing about a profit booking. A quick look at NSE 500. We look at the gainers, and let's see what the broader markets are thinking in terms of the most stocks in terms of gains. We have Infibeam, okay, 7% higher, 37 rupees 10 paisa. Policy Bazaar we've discussed, now 6.7% higher, okay, 1093. Akshay had just discussed this in great detail. We have Tata Investment Corporation 6% higher, 72.38. There's a 5% circuit on Paytm. HUD TVN are respectively 4.7 and 4.3% higher. BDL is doing fairly well. And Indus Star, this is something that Akshay had discussed, 251.55, 4.5% higher. The Nifty flat as it can be, 70 points lower, 22,142, trading in a range after a very hectic uptick all through February. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a pause here and remain glued to Business Today Television for all your financial needs. We'll be back fairly shortly. Thank you.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Karishma Sadani and today we bring you a special report on Byju's. Once known as the epitome of India's startup success story, it is now